It's the 2 Minute Hacks podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle, every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock That He. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. 2 Minute Hacks podcast.
Top of the morning to you, my good people. Happy Wednesday. Hump Day Wednesday, man. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's your host with the most, Tony Mays, Lavelle Salter. What it do, my guy?
What up, bro?
What's going on?
You got it, man. You got it.
No. I'm trying to get it, though.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got it, but I'm trying to get it, though. Man, I want to give a shout out, man. Let me pull up this shout, man. Yeah. Get his shout out, man, real quick, man. First, this might not be the best, but shout out to my good friend, man, the little brother, man, DJ, Prince DJ. Last night, man, Monica and I went to the premiere of the movie he's starring in called Frenemy. And bro, it was actually good, man. He actually did about 4 tracks for the movie.
Well, yeah. Him and Chad been working together for a while.
Huh?
Because him and Chad been working together for a while.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Chad too, man. That it was good, bro. It was Monica liked them Tubi movies, and she be watching some of them African movies on Netflix too. Sometimes they have some of them Tubi movies making Netflix.
Yeah, them African movies be cheesy as hell, though.
Huh? You said what?
African movies be cheesy as hell.
Oh yeah, this was way better than them.
Yeah.
This reminded me kind of like a higher quality, maybe Tubi movie, that Tubi, and it was really, really, really good for a local filmmaker to do their thing, man, and do a movie of that quality, bro. And it was all shot in Memphis and all Memphis sceneries and the bridge and downtown, and man, it was good, bro. And if I'm not mistaken, they use a lot of Memphis actors too. But it was good, bro. It was funny, man. They had a dude that was playing the mailman, bro. Yes, I can see I can see somebody from these movies if it really get in front of somebody. I can see a Kevin Hart or Mike Epps or somebody like that, man. Like getting this dude or Tyler Perry either, man. Getting this dude and putting him in some movie. He funny, bro.
Yeah,
funny. Yeah. So shout out to my Prince DJ, bro. Prince DJ is the guy that actually made our intro music song and Monica's intro music song. He makes those. He's an artist. He performs. He sings. He acts. All of it, man. So shout out to Prince DJ, bro. Yeah. Shout out, man, to our folk, man. Our folk out here doing it big.
Yeah, man. I met Chad.
You didn't tell me.
I've been knowing Chad for about 11 years now. About 11 years.
Yeah, we met. He didn't tell me it was a black tie event.
Huh?
He didn't tell me it was a black tie event.
Oh, really? Hey.
So Monica, when we got out that car, Monica saw them women, them long dresses and all that. She was like, "Oh my God."
Oh.
She's like, "Now, baby, if I'd have known this, I love to dress up now. I'd have put me a long dress on." We would have black tied it up now. We would have known.
Yeah.
The suit on there. I had wore to work, so I just kept the suit on, man. So, but it was all good, man. We had a good time, man. Good movie, man. Shout out again to Prince DJ and Chad, man, and
Yes, sir.
all the actors and actresses, man, that were in the movie, man. Shout out. Um, we on part two, man. We on part two of when assumptions turn into conflict. Um,
Mm.
we had a really good conversation yesterday around this, man, and uh, I think that when you start looking at how um, assumptions really, really, man, can tear some. Uh, can I cuss?
Tear some shit up.
Some ish up. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it tears some up. So we had to be careful, man, about our assumptions and how we proceed. Um, y'all give me a second, cause yesterday I was in the car, so I didn't have the all my speaker notes and stuff downloaded. Uh, as y'all know, Lavelle is random. He sent me stuff be so random. Lavelle like, man, I'm paying it on me cause you ain't prepared.
Oh, I got it right here, Doc. Doc.
I know you got it. Lavelle, I
Mhm.
ain't got it. What you gonna do? You got it. I ain't got it. Oh boy. So yesterday we stopped off at we talked about where is it? Ooh,
I think we stopped off at
real life scenarios.
yeah.
We stopped off at real life scenarios, man. And so I'm gonna run back through all these real quick because I really think that this is really, really, really good information. And
Yeah.
so um when assumptions become the catalyst for conflict, we don't I don't even think like sometimes we think about how our assumptions really affect our thinking and all of this stuff, man. And so uh sometimes we can a lot of the conflicts that we have actually begin before words are even spoken,
Mm-hmm.
right? Expectations shape reactions, perspective shape interpretation, and then we argue over meaning and not the facts.
Yeah.
Like I don't even get that. Like how do we argue over the meaning of stuff and haven't even gotten to the facts? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why we even arguing, period.
Right.
What are expectations? Expectations are unspoken rules we carry into relationships. Assumptions shaped by past experiences, often expressed as disappointment instead of clarity. So our expectations sometimes are expressed as a disappointment because we haven't had any clarity around what the expectations are.
Mm-hmm.
It's perspective. Perspective is the lens shaped by our life experiences, culture, trauma, upbringing, and success. Perspective is interpretation, but not the absolute truth.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have a perspective, but perspective is just an interpretation. I think I gave an example yesterday how three people can read the same scripture,
Mm-hmm.
but all have their own interpretation of what that particular scripture means. And it's
Right.
mainly because they haven't read the scriptures, the after scriptures, and sometimes you have to read the before chapters and the after chapters to really grab the context in which that particular scripture is speaking of.
Mm-hmm.
Um, where is conflict born? Conflict is born when my expectations collide with your perspective. I have certain expectations and you have a perspective, and when they collide, conflict is born. Intent does not always equal impact. Misalignment creates misunderstanding. So when we're misaligned in our agenda, in our goals, in our walk, it can create misunderstanding. And then there's a silent assumption problem. There is a silent assumption problem. It's an unspoken expectation that creates loud conflicts. You know, I have these expectations that I've never really spoken about what these expectations are. I just have them. And so when you know, those expectations are not met, it creates a very loud conflict. Clarity cannot be assumed. So just because and we get back to those assumptions again, just because you said something, you shouldn't automatically assume that I'm clear on what you said. Right? No, don't automatically assume that. Clarity is not and cannot be assumed. Agreement requires a conversation. If you're not talking to somebody and not having a conversation, a dialect about something, and we talked about yesterday, a conversation is going back and forth in dialogue and back and having a conversation, talking, not necessarily talking to yourself. Well, I mean, I know I've heard Lavelle say he talked to himself and sometimes he answered himself. Now, I always advise that. But if you wanted to agree on something, you got to have a conversation. It requires a conversation.
Most definitely.
Right. And then we stopped off with the real life scenarios, relationships where people say you should have known in relation. You should have known it. No. Friendships. I thought we were closer than that. We are close, but come on. And in business, that's not what I expected.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we get caught up just on those things because, you know, we haven't sat down and had the conversations. There's no clarity. And so, you know, what happens then when we do that? So now we gotta defend our perspective. We gotta defend. Good morning, Miss Paula. Good morning, Ms. Gwen. We gotta defend our perspective, right? So what is our perspective? You know, we've already talked about that perspective. What we've thought represents our mindset, our upbringing, what we was taught, all of these things, right? And our perspective can lead to an interpretation that not necessarily agrees with something that somebody else is saying. And it can cause problems, right?
Right.
So why do we why do we defend our perspective? I think the number one reason why we defend our perspective is that our perspective is tied a lot to our identity. And so if it's a tie to my identity, the person who I believe I am, I may have a really, really strong perspective about something. And if you are against my perspective, I feel the need to defend it because it's tied to my identity. Another thing is when you correct somebody and you don't not do it in the right manner, it can kind of feel like rejection.
Right.
And who wants to be rejected?
Nobody.
Who wants their ideologies, their perspectives, their, you know, who wants to be rejected? And so sometimes when you're correcting people and maybe you hadn't really chose the right way maybe to correct somebody, it can actually feel like you're rejecting them. And that could be a problem. But that's why we defend our perspective. and then we protect what once protected us. That's really interesting.
Right.
We protect what once protected us. And if our perspective is aligned or tied to our identity, and our identity is that of one who we protect ourselves, we look out for ourselves. So we have to protect that perspective because that perspective protected us,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right. Right.
So can you have expectations without maybe giving some grace?
I don't think you can. Yeah.
It, you, we've thrown this word grace around. I don't want to say loosely, but we
Mm-hmm.
have thrown this word grace around in terms of maybe giving people grace in relationships. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
when you're in a relationship or you're married or dating, because I can tell you if you're married, excuse me, if you're married, you definitely have to show each other some grace.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You have to show your mate some grace because we do something. We get on each other nerve. We do stuff sometimes to the point where we get on each other nerve. Even if you're dating or been in a relationship for a long time, it could feel like and you never really show your partner no grace. It can feel like that everything I do or nothing that I do is good for you.
Mm-hmm.
I, um, I don't know, like in your, because you and Don been married 20 some years, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like in your early stages of your marriage, when
Mm-hmm.
you're younger, if you ever felt like at times where, man, she just don't get it. She, she,
Mm-hmm.
she maybe she don't get it, and she just hard on you about a certain thing. You were like, man, just give me some grace. Just give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that. I felt like that at a period where I felt like maybe um I wasn't being totally heard. And some of that was probably me because I wasn't maybe communicating it properly, or what
Mm-hmm.
communicating my needs properly. And then I could probably say the same about Monica. She probably just, we were young. She wasn't communicating her needs probably. So I don't think um, we gave each other as much grace. We learned to do that over a period of time.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say because it go both ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't never know where it comes from. What am I
Right.
getting this echo?
Yeah, I don't hear echo.
Mm.
Ms. Gwen said, right, it feels as if an attack on our integrity. Right. And so sometimes we just have to defend it. We feel like there's a need to defend it. Especially if you're one of those people, man, like your integrity, your identity, who you are as a person means everything to you, right? Like that means like everything to me.
Mm-hmm.
And now I feel like that part is being under attack when somebody corrects you. And so good morning, Mayor. When someone corrects you, and it may seem like, damn, why is this person like all up? Why they like you got the target of the bullseye on you?
Right.
Now your volume went way down. You turned your volume way down. But so it's difficult. I hear that little echo there. It's difficult when you have a perspective, and that perspective is deeply tied to your identity, and it's being challenged or checked or corrected.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna jump out there and defend it, and then that's gonna cause some conflict. It's gonna cause some conflict. If I'm defending it, or I feel the need to defend it, it's gonna cause some conflict.
Right.
How do we bounce back from that, or how do we navigate through that? I think that's where grace comes in at.
Mm-hmm.
If I feel like maybe um Lavelle is challenging or correcting me, on something, right? Okay, man, why he trying to challenge my perspective like that? Or just have a different mode of thinking and say, you know what, maybe he didn't mean it that way. So that's where the grace comes in at. When you start to say, oh, let me just listen a little bit more. Let me ask some follow-up questions for clarity. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where the grace starts to lend itself. It starts to come into play. And so now I don't have to, I can give Lavelle a chance or an opportunity to clarify what he means, what in his correction of my perspective. And it can very well be that, it's just that not that he's necessarily correcting my perspective, but he has a different perspective, and I need to, take a look at what his perspective is as well.
Right.
And so all of that leads to that conflict, man. And I think unnecessary conflict sometimes. Sometimes some of us be waiting on the fight, bro. I'm talking about we already got a comeback. We already like ready for you to say if they say anything to me today, I'm shooting off. we already ready for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't say that. Man, I can't say that. Well, I be wanting to say some stuff sometimes. I just can't say it. Ms. Gwen said, sometimes people say, why do you have to have the last word? When really it's you. Is you don't feel you are being heard and want the listener to understand your perspective. Yeah, that could definitely be the case.
Yeah.
Not being combative, but want to be heard. Again, I think that calls for some grace on the end of the other person and whom you like that you're engaging with. Because if I see, because facial expressions will show you a lot, bro. Like if you pay attention, or facial expressions and body language. And if Lavelle and I are having a conversation, and I see his body language changing, his facial expressions changing, where there's a look of maybe discontent or concerning, or he ain't happy about something I just said. Then I need you good. I mean, I want to make sure I may need to have some clarifying follow-up things to say that to get him. Oh, okay, man. I thought you were saying blase.
Right.
Mel said, me too. I want to say a lot work related, but God, yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Yeah. Yep. So expectations without grace, unrealistic expectations lead to disappointment. Uncommunicated expectations lead to resentment. Unforgiving expectations lead to division. So you got to have some grace, because sometimes, man, people just may have unrealistic expectations, right? Those expectations, man, you look at it, you be like, that's so unrealistic. Like, how does that even work? And they haven't even they've given you these unrealistic expectations without any way of maintaining or reaching those expectations. That's what makes them so unrealistic. And you like, you don't even know how you arrived at these expectations. Like, how am I supposed to understand or go along with these expectations? Because they're unrealistic. Unrealistic expectation might be asking a person who never ran a day in their life to go out here and run a 10K marathon and finish it in a decent time. That's an unrealistic expectation.
Yeah.
You know, it's unrealistic. And so for you to say, hey, Tony, I need you to run this, we have the jobs having this 10K. I need you to represent us and run this 10K. And man, the top person, man, the top 5 people. And man, I need you to finish in the top 5. That's an unrealistic expectation. Because you, first of all, a lie. I ain't running it. Second of all, I definitely wasn't gonna run it and be in the top 5. This is unrealistic. Uncommunicated expectations lead to resentment. When you don't communicate what your expectations are, but you have them, and then you expect people to live up to them and you haven't communicated them to, that can lead to resentment. Unforgiving expectations lead to division. You got some expectation, man, and they just unforgiving. Like bro, I don't even know what they talking about. I'm just gonna let them do their thing over here. I'm gonna do my thing over here because I don't even know what they talking about.
Right.
It could be a challenge, bro. Monica said, I think y'all should discuss allowing grace as a topic.
I'm already on it.
Some people may not know what it really means to allow grace and why it's critical in so many different aspects of our lives, relationships, workplace situations, church, etc. It's good you recognize that with one another. I appreciate that from you too. Yeah. And we have to, there are a lot of things, man, that you have to look at, because I believe, like, even in the beginning of this podcast, and I'm talking about me and Lavelle now, not me and Monica, but in the beginning of this podcast, I had probably some expectations of some stuff that were unspoken, but I assumed that assumption, right? I assumed that Lavelle was on the same page I was on.
Right.
That was there was an unspoken expectation, and it could have led to resentment, but we didn't allow it. We checked it at the door and said, hey, well, what is it that you really need me to do? What is it you need me to do? And then we talked about what those expectations were, and we worked through those things. Because even with a podcast, and if you have one person, two person, 3 or 10 people on a podcast, everybody know their role, or should know the role that they play. When I look at tonight's conversation, it seems like everybody on there knows their particular role. They know when to jump in and say something, when to speak on what. They know who has maybe certain expertise in a certain area that they lean on. Ace do it. Ace kind of like run the thing, and then when he said, well, Kitty, what you think about that? Because he know Kitty maybe have certain expertise in a certain thing, and then when he want another male perspective, he hit on one of the other guys. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has a role that they play, and understanding those roles and having clear expectations of those roles is what it needs to be.
I'm sorry, I went into the hold of the topic.
Stay focused, bro. Miss Gwen said, sometimes we push people. Yeah, stay focused. Miss Gwen said, sometimes we push people to do things because we think or know we can do it ourselves, but that's an unreal expectation. We aren't all the same. Yeah. Mel said Romans 12, 17. I guess through 21. I hope this encouraged someone else. You never know. Shit, what it say? You ain't put what it say. Let me look it up. Yeah, because we don't want to just throw these scriptures out there and uh we don't know what it is.
I think it's there. Once therefore in Christ, there is no condemnation. I think it's 12 and 1. I want to say.
She said Romans 12, 17
I
through
know one
21.
says. I may be off though.
It said, recompense to no man evil for evil.
Okay.
Provide things honest and in sight of all men. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men.
Yes.
Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, said the Lord. Therefore, in thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in so thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. Come on, man. Come on, now.
That was timely.
Yeah. And that's one of those scriptures too that I believe ties in a lot with grace, giving grace. Because you ain't going nail for nail, tooth for tooth, trying to get your get back.
Right.
Monica said also people can't be mad at you for feeling how you feel. You feel this way, but I feel that way. We should communicate to better understand each other, but it's okay if we feel differently about things. That's why I said, like, I'm not really mad at even like Glorilla's sister for feeling how she feels, but I do understand that there's a mental capacity that goes along with that whole thing too. She said, "Okay, Evangelist Mel Mac." Yeah, so there's a mental piece that goes with that too. So we have to be careful, man, of how we engage, how we treat people, man. You know, we got to do right by folks.
Right.
So expectations without grace, unrealistic expectations lead to disappointment, under communication expectations lead to resentment, unforgiving expectations lead to division. Right? Here go that Lavelle favorite word, perspective without accountability. You can't. I don't like when people say, "Well, that's just how I am."
Yep.
Well, you know that's just how she is. Ain't no need of y'all acting a cool. Y'all know that's just how they is. That's not accepting accountability.
Nope.
Because if you're causing issues, you're causing conflict. That just how I am ain't gonna fix it.
So ain't.
You can say,
and they say with his chest down too.
Yeah, that's just how I am. I understand that my thinking may have caused some confusion or some uncomfortable situations. How can we fix this? That's be, I think, a better way of dealing with that.
Right.
They're saying, well, that's just how I am. Well, you know my past, so you know that I was deeply impacted by that. It affected me. I don't. One of the things, like, if you're a person that always say, "Well, my past," in my past, it always. If you keep bringing, and you're not a person that's seeking to heal from your past or get help, then why you keep bringing it up? Why you keep throwing it back up in folk face?
Right.
Go get you some help. Try to heal from it, and then you won't let your past rule your future.
Glory.
Understanding does not remove responsibility. Just because you understand it don't mean that there's no responsibility attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to, in your perspectives, whatever your perspective is, it has to have some accountability.
Yeah.
You have to have some accountability in your perspective. Because I've seen some and that's why, like, even early on this podcast, I had certain perspectives about certain things. I felt certain way, but then when we had a conversation and we engaged and we listened to what other people said, I was like, I never really looked at it that way. Never thought about it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, the perspective that I had, I took accountability for not being open about looking at other people's perspective about that particular topic or situation.
Right.
And I think that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's just how I am thing. That when we say that's just how I am. So what do you say? I think what you say to people is, I don't, I'm not gonna be accountable for what I thought, what I said, how I feel, how I made somebody else feel. Because I'm gonna scratch the part out by how they feel, but how they made somebody else feel, what they said to somebody else. That's just how I am.
To me, it's a cop out.
Yeah, that's just how I am.
It's
And
a
when you
cop out.
say that, you're to me, you're saying, I don't, I'm not changing for nobody. It's my way, the highway, no way, and that's just how I am. You can take it or leave it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm probably gonna be more inclined to leave it.
Hello.
Ms. Gwen said, when we empathize with others or try to think of ourselves walking in their shoes, then we most often can have the capacity for grace. In other words, seeing beyond the person and their actions or words to the pain. Yeah. So, and that's when we talk about giving somebody some grace, even as it relates to their perspective or their assumptions or whatever, you and that's why I said, if Lavelle say something and his perspective is this and it offended me because I felt like it was an attack on my perspective, then maybe let me just listen a little bit longer. Let me ask some clarifying questions. Let me not just jump to some conclusions, and say, well, that's just Lavelle. That's that's Lavelle. That's how he is. Does that make it right? Because that's just how Lavelle is.
Nope.
It may be just how Lavelle is, but let's take some accountability. Yeah, that's just how he is. But let me hold him to a different level of standard. Let me hold him to let me hold him accountable for being that's who I am, Lavelle.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Gwen said that's just how I am does not attach accountability to their actions. No.
Yeah.
They are assuming no accountability.
Right.
I was typing just as you said, Yvette, a huge cop out and a way to excuse folks when we accept certain behaviors.
Yeah.
I mean, and we all have done it though. We all have done it. If all you got to do is think about maybe your last family function.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you said, well, that's just how auntie is. Y'all know it. You don't need Uncle Bo. He gonna get it coming here. That's just how he is. Yeah, but we do it. All of us have done it.
Yeah.
It don't make it right, but we all have done it. Then the power of communication. This is what we've been talking about, like how communication could really just eliminate a lot of our issues and conflicts, right? Because we're talking about conflicts, right? How our assumptions can lead to conflict, turn into conflict. The power of communication. Say expectations out loud. Whatever those expectations are, say them out loud. Ask clarifying questions. I've been hopping on it. Replace assumptions with alignment. Try to align with the person and what they're thinking. Both you guys try to get some alignment going, because I think now the assumptions will start to dissipate, because you've got clarifying questions or clarifying answers to questions. The expectations have been spoken out loud, so you understand the expectations, and now you're trying to align with the expectations, and not the assumptions, or not assuming anymore. And that's where, we really have to be good communicators. We really, really have to be great communicators.
Yeah.
And if we're not, then I think you could, just expect some type of conflict, or a conflict coming from somewhere. And I think we should. I think we should. That's the result of staying up too late, try to be grown and go out to a show and stay up too late. Anyway, I think we have to do better, try to be better. Because I think a lot of the things that we do, or the conflict. Let me just speak generally about conflict. The conflict that we endure could be just like, man, could be we don't. It could be avoided, bro.
Right.
If we would just open our mouths, openly communicate, share, talk through stuff. Every time I yell at each other, because even when I get excited in a conversation, my voice escalates, my pitch changes, and that could sound like I'm maybe yelling or talking loud, and I am talking, but it's an expression. It's a way I express myself when I'm passionate about how I feel about something, and that can be perceived as me being argumentative. So I have to be cognizant of that and watch that. And sometimes Monica check me on it. Why are you raising your voice? Just because I say I don't mean. Just because I say it don't mean you understand or comprehend it. Patience is also an aspect we sometimes miss, man.
Yeah.
Zero patience. Zero. We don't got no patience. Yeah. That's patience is you talking about grace. That's another whole topic. Just having patience with people.
Yeah.
And I think if we are patient, and that's something I really had to learn, like patience, because boy, I had zero patience. And I got it honestly, because when I look at my dad, and I look how my dad used to respond and react to a lot of stuff, he had zero patience. Zero patience. And so I know I honestly get it, where I honestly get it from. And then my mom is just a little different. She's a little impatient too. She's impatient in terms of, she said, hey, can you come do so and so, so and so, so and so? If you don't come right then, she'll try to do it herself or go, so well, I probably got it worse, because now that I think about it, hell, she impatient too. I got a double whammy of impatience. She's more patient than my dad, but she still want it when she want it. And that's how I am. I want it when I want it. and that ain't always good.
Yeah.
That could be quite terrible sometimes.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's power in communication, man. There's power in communication. Better questions change everything.
Hmm.
If you ask better questions, it could possibly change the whole outcome of your situation or scenario.
Mm-hmm.
What were you expecting? How did you experience this? What does this look like from your side?
Mm-hmm.
Just asking better questions can literally
Right.
change everything. Which again, I think is a part of that communication piece where you know how to communicate, you understand how to communicate with people, and you know how to effectively communicate with people.
Mm-hmm.
As effective communication may lead to better line of questioning,
Mm-hmm.
for clarity. So if Lavelle mad at me about some expectations that he set, and maybe I didn't understand the expectation, or they were unspoken expectations, instead of me getting mad, maybe I should say, Lavelle, so what? Tell me what were you really expecting? Well, I was expecting you to blah 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 blah. Oh, so so what does that really look like from your side?
Right.
Now I can say, oh, okay. Now I get it. I see how you want it. I know what you want.
Mm-hmm.
But don't automatically assume that I know if you
Mm-hmm.
ain't.
Yeah.
So better questioning can change everything. Then you have to manage expectations in real time. Revisit expectations regularly. What are those expectations? Revisit them regularly so you can make sure you understand them. Allow room for growth and change,
Mm-hmm.
because healthy expectations do evolve.
Oh yeah.
When you have very healthy expectations, I've seen situations where, and I've been involved as well, where expectations were given and the person understood the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
And the expectations turned out way better. They evolved. They turned out way better than what a person really expected. Okay. Lavelle will go after, he always say, I under promise, over deliver.
Mm-hmm.
He go and do a job. Hey, I'm gonna show up this time and do this. He might show up a little early, start the music, get them some music while they setting up. They like, okay, cool, here, get the music. So that's over delivering, right? They setting up, he playing music, give them some little setting while they setting up the little venue event, right? He playing music, doing the thing. He may go over, but we got this. Let me put a video of the player of the couple up and da 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 da. They went, ooh, I wasn't even expecting that. That's
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't in the expectations. That's over going over the expectation. So at the end of the function, they were like, man, I didn't expect this, man. Boy, woo. So now those when you move like that, it allows room for growth and change. So he expanded on whatever the expectation was. He expanded it.
Exceeded expectation.
Yeah, exceeded. Healthy expectations evolve.
Mm-hmm.
When I create a bar for somebody and they kind of tell me what they want and they give me a line. Sometimes people just tell me, hey man, use your creativity. I like that because man, they gonna love this when I'm done. But even when they have an idea of what they want, I try to take that idea and I build on it and try to take it beyond so they say, man, I never expected it to be this way, man. It's way beyond my expectation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you want. That's what you want to hear in the end. You want to hear, man, I don't even know. They ain't never tell me what they expect. They didn't communicate that. I don't know. They. So that's gonna be problems, because if a person does not tell me what they expect, and then I just build them something, and it's totally, because they have these unspoken expectations. I build them something that's totally different than what their expectations were. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. So now, guess what? It's a problem because I've done this work and I'm expecting to get paid, and you saying I don't want to pay for that because that's not what I expected. But you never told me what you expected.
Right.
Conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to do this in the most, come get some examples that you guys can actually relate to, because this is what we do on the side. Conflict as an invitation. Conflict reveals misalignment. Conversation creates clarity. Understanding strengthens the connection. So again, if we're having conversation, it should create some really good results, or some really good conversations should create some good clarity around whatever the misinterpretation of the expectations were, right? It should put us in alignment instead of misalignment. And then, once we understand what is being expected of us, it should strengthen that connection with us. Monica said, "You are so much better, babe." Well, thank you. You do good, Tony, asking the right questions. Throwing these questions out for reflection. What is required to be an effective communicator? What factors keeps one from being an effective communicator? There you go, Ravel. He over there writing them down. He's screenshotting them. This is some good stuff. Mugs and this. Yeah, it's great. This is great information, because I think if you take this information and you apply it to what you're doing, it'll turn down or eliminate a lot of the conflict that we have with each other.
Right.
And then now, our expectations can be what they truly are. We are expecting each other to understand what the expectations are. We're asking the right questions for clarity, and we're building stronger connections because we understand. So perspective shifts lead to growth. Perspective shifts lead to growth. Reflect before reacting. Listen to understand, not respond. Value relationships over position. Woo. We just had that conversation about value over the position. And sometimes people the position is more important than the relationship. And when that happens, it's gonna be some issues. Boundaries versus expectations. Expectations are hopes. Boundaries are commitments to self. Healthy adults communicate both. They communicate their expectations and what their boundaries are. But notice it says healthy adults communicate both.
Yeah, that's key word, the healthy.
Healthy adults. So you can't, a person that has experienced a whole lot of trauma, has a whole lot of built up tension, anger, all that. I don't expect for them until they're going through a healing process or getting some help to communicate their expectations and boundaries in a healthy way. I just don't.
Yeah.
Final takeaway: unmanaged expectations create conflict. Unexamined perspectives create misunderstandings, and communication creates connection. What expectations have you placed on others that you never clearly communicated? Man,
that's a good question.
Think about that one. What expectations have you placed on others that you never clearly communicated? That's deep.
Hmm. I think we do it a lot. I think we do it a lot of times unknowingly, and don't subconsciously don't even realize we even do it.
Yeah, because we can say all day that no, I understand. But when you place these expectations on others and you never even communicated those expectations,
Hmm.
that's tough. That's a tough position for the other person to be in.
Yeah.
So I want you guys to think about this. So maybe you'll start to develop a little grace around it when you start to think about what expectations have I really placed on others that I ain't never really like our kids. This is a good example. We expect sometimes we expect for our children to act a certain way, to do a certain thing, to go a certain, but we never really clearly communicated that to them.
Hmm.
How do you expect them to react, do, be, whatever if you've never clearly communicated that to them?
Hmm.
And we're not having those conversations with these children.
Hmm.
Ms. Gwen says positions are never more important than people. It's out of alignment when we put positions first.
What you said?
She said true tone and application brings growth. That's good. We do it all the time, expect but don't communicate. Ooh, yeah.
Hmm.
We do it to our children. I think our children are the biggest examples of how we do this, how we have these expectations that we never clearly communicated with our children, and we expect for them to just be who we think they supposed to be or do with it, and we even haven't told them. I have monkeys. I've had to darn near swallow my tongue before, not just hold it. It's important to think before reacting. Sometimes there are no takebacks. Yeah.
Right, what you said?
When it comes to children, adults usually say they should know better. That's it. But that's a that's an expectation
Hmm.
of knowing better that you've never clearly communicated.
Yep.
You
Hmm.
never communicated that they should know this or whatever better. They should know better to do that or do that, but you never clearly communicated that before.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, come on, man. Anywho, uh, man, let me clock this T, man. We're gonna go a couple minutes over.
Okay.
Uh, Marcus said, and we expect stuff we ain't even doing ourselves.
What you said?
Let's clock this T with our girl Queen Walker.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all know what time it is. Put them phones down, fingers up. It's time to clock that too with your girl Queen Watkins. I hope y'all are having an amazing morning. But y'all know what time it is. It's time to clock that tea. Now I know we all watch the Super Bowl, and I know we all got our little 2 cents on it. But y'all, let me let y'all know what the world is talking about, okay? And the president of the United States. Let's talk about it. So first off, congratulations to Bad Bunny because he had the most views of the Super Bowl over Michael Jackson, over Kendrick Lamar. He had 135 million views. So shout out to you. So that means the whole world was watching, right? Including Trump, y'all. And
Hmm.
Trump, as soon as they went out, Trump went to the internet, y'all, and said it was a slap in the face to America. That he hated the performance. Like, are you for real? You serious? This the second year now. They didn't got up under your skin, Trump. Second year. But the Super Bowl had a lot of surprises. I actually, in my personal opinion, It was different. I liked it. I didn't see too much wrong with it. The Super Bowl is to entertain us, correct? I didn't understand what they were saying. But the dances and the scenery, all that was really good. And I like the fact that he did like a multicultural thing. Like he brought all the cultures together. At the end, it was like, God bless America, God bless this, that, and the third, whatever. And also, throughout the performance, he also handed his younger self a trophy, basically saying, you can do it. Don't give up. You can do it. I loved it. He basically brought unity to the halftime show, right? There was a message there. I know a lot of people was probably like me, have something like I can't understand nothing he said. But you can also see that there was actually a message there. Clock it. I like it, okay? So he was basically bringing Puerto Rico to America, in my opinion. Different people probably seen it different ways, but how I seen it, he brought cultures together for everybody to show that everybody can work together. And it shows that they work hard because they do. They will build you a house in about 2, 3 days. So, I mean, it is what it is. The truth is the truth, right? So some people love the performance, some people hated it, of course. But to each his own, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Also, during the Super Bowl performance, you could see Cardi B in the performance. The reason why I brought up Cardi B is because her and Stefan allegedly broke up. They unfollowed each other on social media, and oh boy had his other girlfriend there while Cardi B was there. I mean, the disrespect for being with another girl while Cardi there, and you talk about you was finna propose to her. I'm glad things happened the way it did. Cause why would you do that? Why would you do that? You act like we already don't know about you and who you are, and to bring another lady and be seen with her. Oh yeah. And if you continue to watch, they did ask Cardi B about him, and she was just like, "Good luck," and moved around. Baby, she won. She didn't have time for the okie doke. But yeah, that was the halftime show. I think it was cool. Congratulations to the winner. Who was it? The Seahawks? Because I don't watch no type of football. I literally watched it to watch the halftime show. So if that was your team, clock it. Okay? If your team lost, sorry. Right? But overall, I did understand the message from the halftime show. There was a message there. And people trying to compare him to Chris Brown. Come on now. Come on now. And then Chris Brown went online and was like, oh, they need me. Why? So we can see you doing the same thing. Well, I'm
Okay.
not. I'm not talking about Chris Brown. I promise you, I'm not. I'm just saying, it's nothing wrong with switching it up a little bit, changing the message instead of saying a normal performance that we can see on social media. All right, y'all. That's all the tea that I have today. Make sure y'all tune in to 2 minute hits Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. sharp. And don't forget to say something for your girl, Queen Watkins. Clock that tea. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.
Yeah, I love the halftime show, so I don't have nothing to say about it. I loved it. I think it was a beautiful creative thing that he did. I didn't understand all of it either, but if I really wanted to understand what they were saying, all I had to do was put the caption on. But
Mm-hmm.
I because that wasn't important to me. It was a good show. I liked the day. I like all the stuff she said. I liked it. So that's all I got to say on that. If you didn't like it, then you didn't like it. But
Right.
yeah. All right, man. That's all I have. Thank y'all again for tuning in for part two today. Hopefully, something was said that you can take with you and apply it to your life and just become the better version of yourself, man.
Yeah. I want to give a suggestion, man. Because I love how our podcast is well rounded. It ain't always on the same thing all the time. But one podcast that I particularly watch all the time that will probably inspire you guys as well. This lady named Mel Robbins. I don't know if y'all ever watched her before. I'm going to show you all her YouTube. Trying to share my screen. Um, and sometimes it will be so crazy. Sometimes she be talking about the same stuff we've talked about. It'd be so crazy when I go back and view her stuff. But this is her YouTube right here. Try to get to make that bigger. And if you get an opportunity, man, go subscribe to her podcast. She be having some great topics on there. A lot of times, some stuff that I probably sometimes share connect with Tony on. I actually been on watch her podcast and kind of bounce off her stuff. So you get a chance to, man, check out her podcast. If she be having some good hosts on there, be some good stuff. So I just try to stay, fed real good. So y'all check it out when y'all get a chance to. So I thought I'd throw that out there. I remove myself. Where did Tony go? I lost Tony. Where you go? He's gonna come back on so we can pray out. He just fell off. Okay. We're gonna pray. I don't know what happened to Tony. He just fell off the face of the earth. Let us pray. Most gracious God, our Father, God, we thank you for this day. Thank you for this time. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for having this good, healthy, wholesome conversation, talking about things that would make us better than we were on yesterday. Continue to touch Tony family, my family, Queen family, and everybody that's associated with it, Lord God. We actually do all these things in your son Jesus' name. And we said amen. We'll see what Tony went. All right. See y'all tomorrow, man. Hopefully we're gonna deal with what Monica talked about. Hopefully we'll see what's gonna go on. And see y'all tomorrow, same bad time, same bad place. Too many hats. Let's talk about it.
The 2 Minute Hats podcast with your host with the most, Tony and Lavelle. Every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock Dead. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. 2 Minute Hats podcast.